Hi, I'm Chris at Davis Instruments. Thanks for joining us. Today we're going to take a walk through the Davis Mobilize app. Welcome to the Davis Mobilize Basics video. Davis Mobilize is the app that you use to create custom views and set alerts from the sensor data being collected by one or more gateways and associated mesh networks that are either owned by you or have been shared with you from the EnviroMonitor app. Like the EnviroMonitor app, Mobilize is available for download on iOS and Android devices. Let's get started by launching the Mobilize app. After launch, you will have the option to create an account by clicking the Sign Up option. If you already have an account, you can proceed by entering your username and password. After login, you will be at your Mobilize home screen, where you can see a list of each view that you have created or the views that have been shared with you. For a shared view, the username of the person that shared the view will be displayed below the view name. The Mobilize home screen is where you can quickly see the items that require attention by reviewing the warning flags that are shown in the upper left corner of the view name. By selecting a view and dragging it to the right, you can see a summary of the alarms. A preview of the alarm criteria is also shown below the view name. The views on your home screen are prioritized by alarm quantity. By selecting the profile icon in the bottom center of the screen, you can access additional information. You can see the views that you are sharing. You can see the views that you are following. By selecting a view, you can see more detail. For now, let's go back to the previous screen. The Preferences tab is where you can set your language, preferred unit of measure, and resolution scale. The Devices tab lists each gateway that you own or has been shared with you. Selecting the name of the view will show you additional information, such as the views using the device, the service type, and the expiration date of the annual plan. Clicking the wrench will allow you to change your photo, username, or email address. Finally, accessing the settings in the upper right will allow you to change your password, view the terms and conditions, find the app version, or log out. Let's go back to the home screen and learn more about views. For each review, you're able to create 4 reports. There's a frost report, a weather report, a crop report, and an irrigation report. The title bars change color based on the type and urgency of the warning alarms that have been triggered. For the frost alert, the future frost outlook is Friday based on the parameters set by the user. For purpose of this demo, I set the early warning threshold at 50 degrees Fahrenheit and the frost threshold at 34 degrees Fahrenheit. You can see those thresholds set on the chart. The warning would be red if our forecast temperature was forecast to be below 34 degrees on Friday. With the early warning set at 50 degrees, the frost forecast alarm has been triggered. Let's click the tool icon to review those parameters. We can start by clicking Edit Settings. You can see that we are using the Davis Instruments temperature sensor located on the decagon leaf watermark temp node. Our frost threshold is set at 34 degrees, and our early frost warning is set at 50 degrees. By setting the frost threshold at a more reasonable 36 degrees, you will notice that the frost alarm is no longer active. Let's move on to the weather report. By clicking the drop-down arrow, you can see all of your current conditions. The 10-minute average wind is highlighted in red because the alarm parameter has been exceeded. The weather report shows 2 graphs. One is for actual temperature, showing the daily high and the daily low to the left of the dashed line, and the forecasted temperature to the right of the line. We also have a chart for rain, daily rain totals, actual and forecast. Let's scroll through the individual weather settings to see what weather alarm thresholds can be set. We'll do that by clicking the wrench. We have a 10-minute average wind alert, a high wind alert, a daily rain alert, a high rain rate alert, a high temperature alert, and a low temperature alert. Moving on to the crop report, you have the option to track growing degree days or chilling hours. You can select the start date, and other criteria to customize your crop targets. Both the growing degree start date and chill hours are optional, and you can chart only one at a time. You can see you have the option to customize your crop targets for both growing degree days tracking and chill tracking. If you want to track both, no problem. You can create additional views for each. Finally, let's take a look at the irrigation report. Under current conditions, you can see whether or not your irrigation is on or off, the time and duration of your last irrigation, the soil moisture at each depth, soil temperature, today's ET for the prior 7 days, and estimated rainfall for the next 7 days. The soil moisture sum chart shows zones for saturation, good, stress, and wilt. These can be set by clicking the wrench. You can also select your pressure sensor or switch, and a flow meter if one is available. ET is calculated here by selecting the appropriate weather station. Now let's go back to the home screen. You'll notice that the organic cherry view is no longer at the top of our list. This is because we changed the frost forecast. Now only the high wind and max water alarms remain. Now that you understand how to review and change the settings for a view, let's wrap up this session by creating a new view. We start by pressing plus and give the view a name. You can add a GPS location if you choose. Let's press plus to create a frost forecast. Available devices are shown. Let's select the weather station. And we will select the Davis Instruments Grow Weather on the gateway and click Next. We can keep our frost threshold set at the default 32, and let's set the early warning frost threshold at 36. And our frost setup is complete. Open the menu to see current conditions and chart. You can continue setting up the weather, crop, and irrigation reports as desired. Please keep in mind that you do not need to set up all 4 reports for every view, nor do you need to set every alarm threshold. Now that you've created a view in Mobilize, let's talk about how to share that view with others. Let's enter the organic cherry view. In order to share this view, click the arrow in the upper right and enter the username, click the user, and share. You can edit the list who you're sharing by clicking Edit, selecting a user, and you can choose to delete that user. Now that we've shared a view with another user, let's see what views we're sharing and which views are being shared with us by entering our profile. Under Views, you can see first which views are being shared with you, and then also which views you're following. In order to edit the views that you are following, let's click a view. In that view, I can scroll down and choose to unfollow the view. You can see that view has been removed from my menu. In order to manage and edit the views you're sharing, simply click a user, press Edit, select the view, and you can disable sharing of that view. After sharing views with the members of your team, you can rest assured that they will see all of the same alerts and thresholds that you see, allowing you to have continuity of management on your farm. Mobilize gives you the flexibility to measure, monitor, and manage the field data that is important to you. The choice is yours. Thank you for selecting EnviroMonitor.